What if it all depended on me to change the world, change the world? What if my only responsibility was to change the world, change the world? Let me be the one to start a revolution. Let me sing my song to the people of the world. It all begins with one, the power of one, joining with hundreds of millions of people believing it's one, power of one. Don't hang around, stand up or sit down, just believe we can change the world together. We can change the world together, yeah. Happy Wednesday, everybody. What kind of love can conquer disease and change the world, change the world? What can I do to make poverty history and change the world, change the world? Let me be the one to start the revolution. Let me sing my song to the people of the world, the children of the world. And please don't close your eyes, please don't turn away. Let your voices rise and put love on display, 'cause we can make a difference now. Do you believe that we can make a difference now? Whoa, 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 it all begins with one. Whoa, 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 it all begins with one. Whoa, 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 it all begins with one. Whoa, 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 it all begins with one.
All right. Tom Litch and our incredible Mile High Band, thank you very much. Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Night Live. Welcome everyone here in the Teal Sanctuary. How are you doing tonight? And welcome everybody watching at home. And you know, if you live within 5 miles or so of the church, you can still get here before the talk starts. But we're so glad everyone's with us here tonight. So looking forward to the message from Reverend Michelle Scavetta, Something's Calling Me, a great night to explore calling. One of my favorite definitions of calling came from the Christian writer Frederick Buechner, where he said that your calling is that place where your deep gladness and the world's hunger meet. What a good question for all of us. What is your deep gladness? And it's a famous quote, but the rest that went with it isn't as famous, but I love the directions that he gives. He says, by and large, a good rule for finding out your calling is this: the kind of work God usually calls you to is the kind of work, A, that you need most to do, and B, that the world most needs to have done. If you really get a kick out of your work, you presumably have met requirement A, but if your work is writing TV deodorant commercials, the chances are you've missed requirement B. On the other hand, if your work is being a doctor in a leper colony, you've probably met requirement B, but if most of the time you're bored and depressed by it, the chances are you have not only bypassed A, but probably aren't helping your patients much either. And that's where he says the place God calls you to is the place where your deep gladness and the world's deep hunger meet. So as we move into the service tonight, just invite us to take a deep breath and consider what that deep gladness is. And as we breathe out, may we call forth whatever the world is hungry for our purpose, for our inspiration, for our glorious uniqueness.
Something's calling me. Something's calling me. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Feels like I'm walking on marble. Can't steal the earth beneath my feet. Is my head in the clouds, my naked legs left dangling? I can feel my heart begin to pound. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Long dark night, my soul it wanders. Can't steal the earth that moves me. God is everything and everywhere that I belong. Spirit gently wakes me from my sleep. Oh, something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Something's calling me than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, take me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, oh Lord, hold me deeper than I've ever been before. Oh Lord, I know I'm not the only one to live inside these blues. Oh Lord, oh Lord, I surrender my life to you. Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Peace. This peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. And God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Thank you so much, Tom, our amazing Mile High Band. I don't know about you, but I think we have the best musicians around. So grateful. Good evening. So grateful to be with you tonight. So grateful to have people in person, as well as those of you who are joining us online. So thank you for being here. Thank you for opening your heart and staying open to, or asking the question even, what's calling me? So something's calling me is all about, to me, change and transformation. So we're going to be exploring that a little bit tonight, and how oftentimes when something is calling us, when something new is coming into our awareness and into our experience, we're often being called to also let something go in order to create space. So we're going to talk about that tonight. And for those of you gardeners, we're enjoying this springtime, the warmer days, longer days. Perhaps you've noticed the buds that are springing around on the trees, or the flowers that are coming up in your garden. And in this time of springtime, what's important is to create space. We have to go through our gardens and perhaps trim away some of the old brush and create the space for the new buds, for the new expression to come forward. And I don't know about you, but for me, my life often seems to mirror this seasonal expression. So change and transformation is part of the springtime. And that's exactly what I'm experiencing right now. I'm being called into something greater, even if I don't quite know what that is yet. Maybe a little scary, maybe a little exciting. And so, as many of you know, I recently let go of my role in the teen ministry as the teen director here at Mile High Church. And that was an extraordinary opportunity for me to sit in the question of, is this still mine to do, or is it time for something new? Am I being called for something greater? And now I've been working with the teens here for the last 16 years and working in our youth ministry for 17 years. And so this wasn't an easy decision, because I've loved working with our youth. I love the youth ministry staff that we have here at Mile High. I've considered them, my family of choice. And so as I was being called to let go, there was something within that felt like I was letting go of an identity of mine. And if I let this go, well, who am I now? What's next? And I remember it was January of 2004. I was over in the Vote Sanctuary. And I was sitting in the pew questioning, because I knew in high school that I was called to work with youth. I wanted to create a space to support youth in a way that I didn't feel supported growing up. And I don't know if you've ever had the experience where when you're called to something new and it feels so expansive and grand, sometimes there's a little self-doubt that comes in, And so I heard that call in high school, and yet I did a little detour along the way. I maybe changed my major 3 or 4 times in college because I was ducking that call, because I wasn't sure if I could do it. And so fast forward to January of 2004, I'm sitting in the Sunday service having this conversation with God, and I said, okay, if I'm supposed to work with youth, show me my next step. What's mine to do? And I just let it go. So I just started flipping through the Sunday bulletin, and lo and behold, there's an ad for a youth ministry administrative assistant. I'm like, what? It's like, of course there is. So I had to laugh at the synchronicity and just the timing of it. And so it's like, okay, clearly this is my next step. And so the long and short of that story is that I applied for the job but didn't get it, at least not then. But by not getting the position at that time, it opened the door for me to step into volunteering and serving in the youth and family ministry in an extraordinary way that just opened my world, in so many ways. And so it created this opening of possibility. And after a couple of years, I did eventually get that position. But in that time, I've been able to serve and support teens at Mile High Church and families, also through Centers for Spiritual Living, as well as around the world through camps and global service projects. And it's been a journey of extraordinary growth and extraordinary heart. Because even though in this moment I may not be directly working with teens or their families in the same way that I have for the last number of years, I will always be a youth advocate. I will always be cheering our youth on. And so then fast forward to September of 2021, just a couple of months ago, following a meeting that I was having with Reverend Josh, where I recognized even clearer that it was my time to let go. Time to let go of the teen ministry because there was something bigger calling me. And I had to create space for the grief that was coming up in that process. Because like I said, it wasn't easy. It was like, being torn away from my family, but even though I'm still here. And so in the last couple of months, just sitting with this decision and sitting with this new call for something new, even though I don't know what it quite is yet, but I knew that in order to reach forward into what's next, I had to let go of what was behind me. I had to be open to saying yes to Spirit. Because I don't know about you, but sometimes if we tell Spirit no, it comes back in a whole new interesting way. And we end up saying yes anyway. So say yes from the beginning. But sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's scary and fear gets in the way, resistance gets in the way. But when we lean into it, what we recognize is that, and what we remember is that, Spirit, our soul, the universe is constantly conspiring for our highest good in every moment. And so as we lean into the resistance, what we notice is where maybe the edge of our comfort zone is. And as we lean in a little bit more, we just have that information about, okay, here's the edge of my comfort zone. I'm being called to something greater. Okay, I'm going to take the leap. And so change and transformation, that's what we've been called here to do in this lifetime, is to change, is to evolve, is to grow. We came here to be the fullest expression that God created us to be, even if we don't quite know what that is yet. And so I have 3 tips for you tonight to support you on a journey of change if you're feeling called to let go of something in order to step into or in order to embrace something new. Maybe you're feeling called to change something in a relationship or change a job. Maybe you're feeling called to relocate, move somewhere new. Or maybe you're feeling that spring cleaning vibe and you're just in the space of clearing out. You don't even know why you're clearing it out, but what you're doing is you're creating that space for the new to emerge. So my first tip for you tonight is to heed the call and let go. Let go of what it is that might be holding you back, that might be in the way of you stepping into this next expression of you, this next expression of your life. And again, it might not be easy, might have all sorts of emotions involved, but be willing to let go so that you can grab onto what's next, so that you can open to what's next. Tip number 2, those emotions, be willing to lean in. The emotions that come up for us, especially during times of change, they have messages for us within them. And so if we have the courage to lean in, we can listen and we can hear what that message is. And again, it might not be easy. And if there's a moment where perhaps the emotions feel too overwhelming to bear, call a friend. Call a practitioner. There are people around you who are ready and willing to support you right where you are. As the emotions come up, ask somebody to sit with you and simply listen. Listening and witnessing are tremendous gifts because as we share what's going on for us, as we verbally express it, miraculously, it creates space for new insights to emerge. It creates space for us to recognize, to hear what our next step is. And oftentimes, all we hear is that one next step. I don't know about you, but I would like to have 10 steps in front of me because then I feel a little bit more comfortable. But right now, it's one step and then the next step. And then tip number 3 is trust your journey. Trust your journey. As I mentioned, the universe is conspiring for our highest good in every moment, even if it might not feel that way. We are guided and supported every step of the way. And when we turn within, through prayer, through spiritual practice, through sitting in the silence in nature, when we turn within, we can hear that still small voice within us that is guiding us to that next step. So trust the journey. Martin Luther King Jr. said, take that first step in faith, even if you can't see the whole staircase. The whole staircase is there, but we don't need to see where it's going quite yet. Eventually we will get there. All we need is that next step. And I love one of my favorite quotes from Mother Teresa is, I know that God will never give me anything I can't handle. I just wish he didn't trust me that much. And so what is calling you in your life right now? What are you feeling called to open up into, to express into, to step into? Are you willing to take that first step with me tonight? And if so, I just invite you to just turn within as I guide us through just a simple release process that can help you on this journey. And so if you feel called, feel free to go ahead and close your eyes. And taking a deep breath in, and just feeling that seat beneath you, fully supporting you right where you are. And just simply exhale. And bring to mind a situation or something that is calling you in your life, something that's calling for change. And as you bring that situation to mind, what is it that you're being called and asked to let go of? And in your mind's eye, just imagine writing that on a piece of paper, what it is you're ready to release. And now take that piece of paper in your mind and just crumple it up. And if you feel called to demonstrate that physically by crumpling and moving your hand as if you're crumpling a piece of paper in it right now. And imagine before you is a fire. Perhaps it's a burning bowl, a fireplace, a campfire. And slowly walk up to this fire with your paper in your hand, feeling the warmth of this fire before you. I invite you to release your paper into the fire. And as you release it, say in your mind, I release, and then what it is you're ready to release. And taking a deep breath in, just noticing any emotions that might be coming to the surface for you. Just acknowledge them. As you're watching that piece of paper burn, just repeat this affirmation after me. I am ready to step forward in faith, knowing that my divine guidance within me is guiding me to my next perfect step. I move forward with ease and grace. And so it is. And gently bringing your attention back to this time and space, I honor you for taking that first step, for hearing the call of change that is coming forward in your life, and allowing yourself, giving yourself permission to let go of what is ready to be let go of. And so as you move into the rest of your week, just notice, are there emotions coming up? If so, lean in to see what they have to share with you. Reach out if those emotions feel a bit too much to bear. And trust your journey, knowing that you are guided every step of the way. And so in this moment, I just recognize that there is a divine life that is moving in, through, and around each and every one of us. We are here to express its divinity, its life force in extraordinary ways. And so I simply say yes. With faith, I take a step forward. I know that we are guided. I know that this life has extraordinary vision for each and every one of us, and that all is well. I open to the greatest yet to be, knowing that I am blessed and I am a blessing. And so it is.
Something's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. Compassion's calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. My faith keeps calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. This peace is calling me a little bit deeper than I've ever been before. And God is calling me, and I'm grateful like I've never been before.
Thank you so much. And this is our time in our service. I just want to give great thanks for all of your financial contributions that you have continued to support us with in extraordinary ways, all of the ways that we continue to support this Mile High family. And there are various ways for you to contribute tonight. You can text your offering, you can mail in a check, you can go online, and if you're here in person, there are bins in the lobby for you to contribute in. So let's just go ahead and just turn within again to bless all that is. I know that we are all in this flow of abundance, in prosperity, in life, in love, and I just bless all that we have to give in extraordinary ways, and know that it is blessed and multiplies and comes back to us in countless ways. And so it is.
Stays the same. Everything must change. Nothing stays the same. Everything will change. No one stays the same. The young become the old, and mysteries do unfold. That's the way of time. Nothing goes unchanged. There are not many things in life that you can be sure of. Except rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Oh, rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and hummingbirds do fly. Rain comes from the clouds, sun lights up the sky, and music makes me cry.
So sensitive. Thank you, Tom Litch. Thank you. Thank you, Rob Lowe. Thank you, Kent. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Susan. Looking and sounding beautiful tonight, so appreciate you and all the love that they bring to this service every week. Don't we appreciate them? Thank you, Reverend Michelle Scavetta, for that powerful message and setting an example for all of us, too. And this is our community prayer time. This is a time where we all pray together. This isn't just me praying. This is all of us. So I refuse to do it unless you promise that you're going to pray with me too, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. So how do we start a prayer? We just immediately go to what we recognize as most sacred in the world, in the cosmos to us. I just bring my attention and my awareness to that recognition that I believe there is a divine thread in all of life, a unity, a love, a truth, an inspiration that might be beyond comprehension, and at the same time it's the apparent objective truth in everything I see and do when I see clearly. And this amazing infinite intelligence, as I have now recognized it, I do that next step of prayer, which is to realize it's true of me too. Me too. Let us recognize what it feels like to know that we are expressions of something sacred, something beautiful, something inspirational. And as we sense this connection, we can now state our intention. Now that we know our unity with this sacred presence, what do we know about our lives? What do we know about the people we love? What do we know about people everywhere? People who are struggling, people who are thriving. Wherever there are, we know this unity is. And so I just invite each of us just to call forth to mind, to heart, to even say aloud the name of anyone who we wish a greater experience of physical healing for. Affirming and knowing that there is indeed a divine, vital life in every cell of this person's being right now, leading them to greater expressions of physical well-being. We can say our own names as well. And let us bring to mind, to heart, to word, anyone who could use a greater experience of harmony in their relationships, forgiveness, deeper trust, a grander intimacy of heart and of being. I know that the divine is that which connects us, and may we know that the divine makes its way in the lives and relationships of our loved ones and in our own. And let us bring to mind anyone who might be struggling financially right now, in between jobs, not knowing what's next on that step in the staircase. May we know and remember that this infinite divine presence is the source of all that is. And may, as we say this person's name and bring them to mind and heart, know that there are indeed demonstrations happening for them, making their way known. And lastly, may we bring to mind, to heart, to word, anyone who could use a deeper experience of peace of mind, just peace. May we hold this person in our heart and whisper, peace, peace, peace. Knowing that this very recognition cultivates that energy of divine source that surrounds us even when we forget it's there, but reminds us with demonstration after demonstration of its grace, of its goodness, and of its love. So we move this prayer to a time of just acceptance and gratitude. Thank you, life. Thank you, Spirit, how good it is to be aware, if even for a moment, of the truth that connects us all. And releasing this word, just letting it go, letting it incubate in a divine consciousness. I know, like watching those earthworms come from the ground after the rain this morning, that there are divine demonstrations crawling all around, springing to life, making our word manifest in all of this beautiful creation. And so it is. Amen. So you did a great job. You did a great job, everyone. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you for being here tonight. So looking forward to this upcoming Sunday, The Abundant Universe with Dr. Michelle Medrano, our Adventures in Prosperity series. We're looking forward to it this Sunday. Know that you can still make a reservation for the 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. service online. Next week, I get to start a 2-part series called Keeping Calm in the Crazy. How to keep calm in the crazy. So sometimes we talk for ourselves, you know what I mean? Don't forget to check out our prayer support online through milehighchurch.org. Thanks for being with us tonight. However you were with us, take good care.